And my wife, this year, she made me hold myself accountable and keep the faith. And a lot of people have different religions and stuff like that, but I'm born again Christian, my wife, and I believe in God, and so if you keep the faith and hold yourself accountable, you can accomplish anything that you want.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Supp Talk Radio. If this is your first time here, thank you so much. And again, if you've been here before, welcome back. I am super excited today for my guest. Once again, he is a family man, a father, a loving husband, and a new IFBB Pro, Michael Woodhouse. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. I thank God that you reached out and I'm able to be here.
Michael, so I'll ask, so now since you added those 4 little letters to your name, how has life changed?
Life's changed a lot. A lot of people have been asking me, what it took to get here and how did I get that pro card? And it's really just simple. I kept the faith, my wife, and I held myself accountable. That's something that a lot of people don't do. And my wife, this year, she made me hold myself accountable and keep the faith. And a lot of people have different religions and stuff like that, but I'm born again Christian, my wife, and I believe in God, and so if you keep the faith and hold yourself accountable, you can accomplish anything that you want in life.
Yep. Like they say, behind every good man is a great woman. I know I've been married 25 years, so I can't say enough about everything my wife does for me.
Absolutely. My wife is everything. My manager, she's my masseuse. She does everything. She does everything.
Let's talk about that for a minute, because obviously you've been a competitive bodybuilder and you've kind of broke the norm a little bit where everybody is using coaches and nutritionists and everything else. But your wife is the person doing this all for you, correct?
Well, I've had coaches. I've had 5 coaches.
Oh, you have? Okay.
I've had 5 coaches. And this year, my wife sat me down and she was like, look, you've been doing this for 15 years. I've had coaches for 9 of those 15 years. And she said, look, let's come together as a team and, let me help you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it made perfect sense. Who knows my body better than my wife, and who knows my body better than me? So we just basically teamed up together, and we just, she held me accountable, and I kept the faith. And hard work doesn't, never fail. So if you work hard, you'll achieve your goals.
So does she have a background in nutrition or anything? Or is it kind of just really, like you said, knowing you, your body, and what's working, what's not?
Yes, background in nutrition. She knows all. She's in the dental. She works in the dental industry. So she knows a lot about that. And she just knows, she's just all around just intelligent. She's highly intelligent. So she knows about nutrition. She's a great cook. She does everything. Spiritual, sing, she could sing.
Wow, okay.
I mean, what more can I ask for in a wife, man? She's good with money. What more could I ask for?
Does she give you like loving critique, or is she very, very harsh with like critique and whatnot?
I mean, that's what I like. I like you. She was very, very hard. She's like, look, you're out of shape. She's like, you need to do more cardio. Look, you got to hold yourself accountable. Look, you can't eat that. Look, you got to stay on the diet. And that's what a normal coach does or supposed to do. And, I treated her as a real coach. I really bought into it. I really held myself accountable this time. And the problem with why I didn't turn pro sooner, it was that I didn't have my life together. I wasn't holding myself accountable. And that's what it all came down to. So once I held myself accountable, those dreams of mine came true.
Was it more of kind of a hobby, maybe work, and obviously being a father and a husband, or was there other things kind of keeping you from going pro?
It was a lot of it. It was a hobby at first, and I had a lot of other things going on in my life, as far as that was concerned. And I didn't have any balance. You have to have balance. Once I got married, and I'm a beautiful stepchildren. What can I say? Things come together when you have balance.
It's fresh in our head. Let's talk about the week of the universe. Okay.
Yes.
Are you on track? Are you off a little bit? Like, walk us through the week. How are you feeling? How are you looking?
Well, I was in shape 5 weeks earlier. Me and my wife.
Wow.
Me and my wife came together in the beginning of the year, and since this is our first time doing it, So we dieted for 24 weeks. I did a show. I did a Kevin DeHaven show, Tournament of Champions, April 20th, kind of like as a dry run. So I did a 12-week prep for that. And we looked, we got the blueprint for what we needed for the universe. So I added on another 12 weeks to that. So another 12 weeks for that after that. And then so we had 20, so added up to about 24 weeks. So the plan me and my wife came up with, I was going to drop down to light heavyweight. So I was like, okay, let's try that. But the week of the show, I couldn't make weight. So I was really worried about that. I weighed in, I was like 207. And obviously the cutoff is 198 and a quarter. So, I went to my wife and I'm like, she's like, don't worry about it. Just go heavyweight. Keep the faith, believe in God and don't worry about it. God's going to put you in position. So I didn't worry about it. And, I said, hey, put me in heavyweight. And, bold and behold, God put me in position. That was the class for me to be in. And I was able to win.
Awesome. So you mentioned you were in shape 5 weeks prior. How are you able to kind of maintain that without sacrificing too much muscle and continuing to diet for the 5 more weeks?
I actually gained muscle. I mean, I looked way better than I did for the regional show. I actually put on muscle. That's why I think it was so hard for me to make weight. I got better. It's like fine wine. You have to diet. And that's one thing me and my wife learned this year. You have to diet for a long time. I can't do a 12-week prep. I can't do a 16-week prep. It's got to be 20 plus. I'm doing 26 weeks. It has to be a lifestyle. You have to look at diet as a lifestyle. And that's what it is.
Yes. And that's how the industry's changed a lot, where, 90s is my jam. I grew up with a lot of the 90s bodybuilders, and they were doing 12 weeks, maybe 16 weeks, but now 20, 24. And I actually hear some people doing like 30-week diets. I know things have changed a lot. That seems to be the new norm nowadays, is 20 plus.
You have to, because you need that texture of the muscle, and you just have to diet for a long time to get that look, to get that grainy look, that grainy hard look. And you have to do a lot of cardio. I did a lot of, that's my philosophy. Me and my wife's philosophy is a lot of cardio, like 80, 90 minutes a day. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Old school. None of this. A lot of people, I did 20 minutes, I did 30 minutes. I relied on a diet. That may work for them. But for me, what me and my wife figured out was I have to do a lot of cardio.
So are you the type of person then, so you'll maybe balance the food, keep the food the same, but take the cardio up? Or do you kind of balance both of them a little bit?
Take the cardio up, keep the food the same.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Fasted cardio, or kind of what's your jam for cardio?
With my work schedule, I work 12 hours at night. So, not the norm. A lot of competitors got days and stuff like that. So I do it all in one. I do my workout, and then I do my 80, 90 minutes right after the workout. So
treadmill, or what do you use?
I did. My wife told me to stay off the Stairmaster.
Okay.
And she said just do the treadmill and the bike. So I just broke it up. So I did 45 on the bike and 45 on the treadmill incline. Not just jogging, and I mean not walking slow, but at a good pace. 5, steady incline. That way, it took pressure off my knees, and it didn't make my glutes huge. It got them, because that was always a problem for me. A lot of people was getting on me about my glutes and hamstrings, so we took care of that problem this year.
How do you keep 45 minutes? I mean, for me, I try to go 30, 45 minutes, and I go batty. How do you keep motivated for 90? Are you music? You watch something on Netflix? How do you keep yourself going for that pace?
You're alone for a lot of competitors will notice you're alone for most of the prep and what you're doing. So what kept me motivated was my wife and her belief in me, and a lot of the naysayers that kept me going. Just like Michael Jordan, like we talked about earlier.
Yep.
That kept me going, because there's so many people that winning and losing, they think just because you lost, that makes you're a loser. No, that's not what it is. That's what bodybuilding kind of taught me, is that when a true winner, a true champion is a person that never gives up, a person that just keeps. Because we end up the subjective sport. I mean, so there really is no winner and loser. So the real winner is not quitting. And I tell people that, they're like, well, you didn't win your show. I'm like, but I didn't quit. There's so many things that happen during the prep. Lose your job, whatever. I've done preps where I lost my job. and I still finished it. That makes me the winner. So, that's one message I really want to get out to people, is that just because you lost doesn't make you a loser.
But you almost sometimes, to humble yourself, you need that L once in a while to kind of analyze, course correct, and use that fuel for fire, like almost like you're saying with Jordan. Take that L and say, okay, what went wrong? And now I'm going to come back and kick butt and take names.
Yeah, and then of course the naysayers. There's always somebody that has something to say, always an opinion, whether it be negative or positive. I enjoy negative opinions. That doesn't get me down. It motivates me. I drive on it, So it makes me train hard. It puts me in that place where I need to be, because I train by myself. I'm by myself, so I need it. Yeah, I need it. I mean, you should see the guys at my job. They're horrible. Yeah.
Talk to us the day of the show. You show up. I mean, what's your mindset? Are you one of those guys that's kind of humble and observing, or?
I got there early. Got there.
Okay.
Those you could check in on Friday. I got there Thursday. Try to make weight. Couldn't make weight, but me and my wife decided to go heavyweight. I'm already in shape, so just basically just eat up. I'm already dried out, ready to go. So just eat up and just relax. Just leave it in God's hands and go out there and do my thing. Out there have fun. I'm not stressed out when I get backstage. A lot of people are like, not talking to nobody. I'm very talkative backstage, right up until the point where I go up on stage, because the work is done. You gotta go out there and have fun. It's time to have fun now. That's when some of my close friends are from people that I competed with over the years.
Michael, which is the hardest for you? Is it the training? Is it the diet? Or is it stepping on stage?
The hardest for me is time away from my family. That's the hardest for me. Is the time away from my wife. The time away from the people that, hey, Mike, can you be here? And I can't be there. The time that I've missed. That's the hardest part about the sport.
Sure. So take us back to high school, Michael. Were you an athlete, normal kid? What was high school like for you?
High school was great. I grew up in Jersey City, New Jersey. I went to Lincoln High School. A lot of people want to play basketball. A lot of people want to play football. I decided on track and field, and I didn't want to be a sprinter. I wanted something that was going to challenge me mentally and physically. So I said distance running, cross country running, 800, 16, 32.
Wow.
I mean, that's a challenge. I mean, I like challenge. That's why I picked bodybuilding. I mean, because I'm a self-made runner, self-made bodybuilder. So that's more challenging than distance running. It's more mental than physical than anything.
Yes.
So I was 3-time All County. I ran 429 mile. I ran the 16:30 in the 5K.
Wow.
And for 5 miles, I ran 27:52. And I also ran a marathon. So that running gave me the discipline. The training for running is brutal. So that training kind of translated into weight training. It's kind of the same concept.
Was a marathon a one-shot deal? Would you ever do? Well, obviously in your state of mind now, you probably wouldn't want to do a marathon.
It was a childhood dream. Me and my friend Paul, we got a team together, called ourselves Chilltown, and we went out there and we trained for it. We did the Vermont Marathon back in 2005, and it was great. I finished in 3 hours and 25 minutes. It was just a one-time thing that I wanted. I always wanted to do a New York City marathon, but I just settled on any marathon, and he made that dream happen. So I'm happy for that. I'm thankful for that.
Good for you, because as you said earlier, I think it's more mental fortitude than it actually is physical fortitude.
Yeah, and holding yourself accountable. How bad do you want it? Yeah.
So obviously, as a runner, Michael, you're lean, obviously. So talk about the transition into bodybuilding, because that's a total metamorphosis from one body type to another.
Well, I remember I was going to train one time and I saw a picture of a muscle development. And the first bodybuilder I ever saw, a lot of people say Ronnie Coleman. The first bodybuilder I ever saw that was crazy and I wanted to look like that was Paul Dillette.
Yes.
Paul Dillette was a monster, and he was on the cover of Muscular Development, which I still have. And I said I want to look like that. So that kind of
aesthetic as can be.
Yeah. So that challenge of transforming my physique from a runner to a bodybuilder took many years. I don't have the genetics to put on muscle like that. So it just took time. And that's what bodybuilding is all about, is just putting in the work, and just over time you'll get there. You just have to be patient.
So did you say to yourself, listen, I want to start lifting weights and I want to put on muscle, or like
I want to look like that. I wanted to look like a freak. I wanted to look like Paul Dillette.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a monster. He had veins everywhere. And then as I started having a physique, and a lot of people was telling me about possibly competing, which I wouldn't get into until I moved to North Carolina, which was a tough state to start. Back, I started back in 09, so it was tough back then.
I actually had the pleasure of meeting Paul back in '92 at a show. He was off season for shoulder surgery, but even kind of off season, he had leaned out, but he was still one of the nicest guys, and just one of the nicest guys you could ever meet.
Awesome. Yeah, I haven't met a whole lot of bodybuilders, but I'm looking forward to hopefully meeting some of my childhood idol bodybuilders.
So you're in the gym, you're making some advancement, and at that point, are you thinking, "Heck, I want to compete," or did someone kind of tap you on the shoulder and said, "Hey,
you know how it
you
is?
step on stage?"
You say, "Hey, you have a physique. Do you compete?" I'm like, "No, I don't know what that is." But I didn't really consider it until I moved to North Carolina, and then I saw the flyer on the wall, Mid-Atlantic Classic. Kevin DeHaven. His first show actually that he was just getting into promoting back then in 2009, and I said and Jay Cutler was the guest poser. He had just won back the title.
Yes, okay.
I said, "Hey, let me do this first show. It's fantastic. Why not?" So back then I thought the bodybuilding community, I thought people would be, "Hey, I'll help you." Nah, you got to pay for information.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
I thought the industry was, hey, let's help each other out, because the NPC takes so much money from us as athletes. So you figure, hey, but I will learn that later on, that if you want information, you have to pay for it.
Yeah. So your first show there, what did you compete as, and how'd you place?
I did not place. I didn't finish the show. I completed as a light heavyweight.
Okay.
I thought bodybuilding was easy, man. I thought I'd just waltz in there and get top 5. And I was like last call. I was a really, really big class because it was the first show in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I was like last call out. I was really down because my family came down there. My father was down there. I felt embarrassed. And but what I did was, even though I didn't finish the show, I finished prejudging. What I did was I went back and watched Jay Cutler posed, and I said, I'm never going to feel like this again. I'm going to come back next year and I'm going to finish the show. So that's what I did.
Did you have a coach at that point, or was it just you and buddies?
People in the gym, working out, people in the gym, just learning here from tips here and there, reading, trying to do some research. I always study up on what I'm doing, the history of the sport. So I've always, that's kind of the route that I went at first. And just asking people to help me, but I would just get the pat on the backs and stuff like that. It wasn't until later on, years down the line, that I said, hey, I got to invest and so I can learn, basically spending some money. So I basically had to learn that the hard way.
So 2009, are you getting a lot of your information from magazines, or you're on the web, or where are you getting all your data from?
Internet, big collective of magazines. I used to put the posters on my wall. And so, yeah, magazines, internet at the time, and people in the gym. I worked out with people when I was in North Carolina, Goldsboro, North Carolina, and I try to learn from them. I had a couple of people, try to show me how to pose and, look up stuff on YouTube. That's kind of like how I learned and got into the sport. But I'm really competitive, so having that DNP not finishing the show really bothered me. So that's why I came back at the Charlotte Cup in 2010. And then I got second. And then I was hooked, because then I was like, I want to win a regional show. I wasn't talking about being a pro and but I wanted a regional. Yep. First started, I wanted a medal, but then I was like, I want a regional show.
Okay.
Regional show. Yeah.
So then what show did you actually get the bug to actually say, look, I'm going to step on nationals, universe, whatever it is? What show kind of solidified yourself in your head is, I can hang with the big boys?
2017, I won my first overall. What was it? The Virginia Muscle Classic.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's when I said I'm ready for the next level, because I wouldn't allow myself to think of going to the next level, the national level, without winning a regional show. So it took me 7 years to win that regional show, and I moved to Virginia. I moved to Virginia and then that happened.
Michael, how many shows had you done up to that at that point, 17?
Man, I compete every year. I don't believe in taking a year off and growing. I think you have to compete. You're gonna miss. In my opinion, I think you miss out on opportunities if you take a whole year off. And plus, tomorrow's not promised to us. We don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, today. So you have to take advantage of your opportunities. So with the exception of 2011, I've competed every year. So I think up until that point,
Wow. Okay.
9 shows, 10
Okay.
shows at that point. So, but about that time, I had hired a coach. About that time, his name was
Okay.
Coach Brian, but he didn't come to me like saying, "Hey, let me charge you." He came to me as a friend and saying, "Hey, let me
Oh,
help you
nice.
out." So that was new to me at the time when I first moved to Virginia. So I was like, I felt indebted to him. So I said, "Hey, I'm going to stay with you. I'm going to work with you, and I don't mind paying because you came to me as a friend." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that meant a lot to me. So he was my first coach for 4 years, and I learned a lot from him, a whole lot. I learned a lot from him.
Love it. And I say, so then at what point do you step on the nationals, or do you go to aside from now? Was this your first national level show, or have you done previous in
No,
the past?
no, this is my fourth time doing the team, the universe. So the next year,
Okay.
2018, I did the team universe, it was called at that time, and I placed sixth in the open light heavyweight division.
Okay. And then you come back and it's team you again the following year and the following year?
No, that was the plan, but trials and tribulations, man. 2019, I lost my job, and then at that time,
Okay.
got out of shape. Then I got back in shape, and then me and Curtis Bryant were no longer working together. So I got another coach. His name was Sebastian, and we wanted to do a show together, just to knock out the cobwebs. So I wound up doing the same show that I won in 2017, the Virginia
Okay.
Beach Classic. But then I didn't win that. So and then I lost
Oh,
my job
geez.
again. Then I lost my job again, and went through all the trials and tribulations of that. And then I did another show in 2019. I wouldn't get back into the Team Universe until 2020 during COVID, because they had it at
Okay.
the end of the year in November, and I did well. I finally broke into the top 5 in the 35 and over, and then I
Okay.
did the Open. I placed second in the Open. So that I really thought I was going to go pro in 2020. The COVID year, and didn't happen.
And then this year, obviously, what changed from maybe the last show to the universe this year? Like what modifications were made?
Well, they moved it. After COVID, it was in South Carolina, and for the 2 years that I did in 2020 and 2021, and then they moved it back to Teaneck, New Jersey, for 22, 23, and then I did it in 24.
But I mean, for you personally, though, was it? Did your diet
Getting
change? Training differently?
married. Getting married. That's what changed.
Okay.
That's
All right.
what
Put you
changed.
put you in a good headspace. Then a really good
I
headspace.
got married in 2021, March 5th. So my wife, she changed my life, man. She saved my life. She saved my life not only just physically, but spiritually and mentally. She's everything, man. I couldn't. This wouldn't have been possible without her. It wouldn't have been possible.
God bless you guys. Talk to us about food intake. Are you kind of a high carb? Like what's prep look like with meals?
Prep. Well, me and my wife did this year. We cut out chicken. We went just lean ground turkey. That was
Okay.
about. We measured that. I like 150 grams. Over the years, I don't really like high. A lot of coaches be like 250. But I usually went with I like 100, between 150 grams of lean ground turkey, 99% to 97. We did that about 12 weeks out, and then I love my jasmine rice. And then the last 6 weeks we did all fish and vegetables. Cut out the rice, did all fish and vegetables.
So you were really almost low carb then, super low carb.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't lose any muscle. I mean, you're not gonna lose muscle if you train efficiently and you utilize the energy that you have. And also, I got carb sources from cream of rice. You guys have bananas. That's usually my breakfast, and of course, instead of egg whites, I switched to whole eggs. That kind of works for me. Usually three every morning with my cream of rice.
And what type of, you mentioned fish? What type of fish?
The dirty one, tilapia. I can't afford the cod every now and then. But
no, that's awesome.
Tilapia always work well for me, and it tastes good. Tilapia is it tastes good when you cook it right. And I have of course I can cook, because a lot of the preps that I did on my own. But of course I have my wife, and she helps me out with the great cooking, so it makes it taste pretty good.
So now, does your wife make 2 meals or multiple meals, like one for you and one for her and a family, or are you guys eating the same thing together?
I don't know, babe. You want to answer that question?
Oh. Hi.
There's the beauty behind the brains. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So with meals, I did have to make 2 separate meals.
Okay.
I've led a health class for my church, and so I got really into dieting. So I had my own things I can't do because of my conditions, what he eats. So yes, I had to prepare meals for him. A lot of times
Okay.
I'll make in bulk for him and freeze it. And some things I kept,
Sure.
like the vegetables, and just added to it. The protein was frozen. And then I made my own meals because Michael don't touch fruit. I had to have the fruit was my dessert, so he didn't get that. Every now and then he'll get cantaloupe, but yeah, that's
Okay.
for that.
Bananas are fruit.
Yeah, but you don't like the fruit I like. I like all fruit.
But was it fruit by choice because of the carbs, or you just don't like fruit in general, regardless of your prepping or not?
No, bananas. Bananas are fruit. I usually have either 2 bananas with my cream and rice every morning.
Yeah, but we need some vitamin C and stuff, though, brother. Oranges, apples, anything.
Supplementation.
Mhm.
Yeah, I use that supplements, vitamin C supplements. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to us about training. What's your training like?
Old school. I mean, a lot of these gyms have machines. The gym I train at, they don't have all that. They have maybe 1 or 2 machines, maybe a cable crossover, some flies and stuff like that. But
Okay.
you know, old school incline, barbell bench press, you know, preacher curls. I'm old school, so I don't do all those machine works. Just straight free weights, and a little bit of machines in there, but for the most part, free weights.
Are you a failure? 8 to 12 reps? Like, what are the rep ranges?
It depends. For prep, I usually try to get in the reps, at least 10 to 12. But I make sure
Okay.
it's heavy. I make sure it's nice and heavy, and I usually keep it between 10 and 12. For off season, usually I keep a load of reps, maybe 6 to 8, between 6 to 8. No less than 6 though. I'm
And
old enough.
what type of split are you on? Like a 3-2, 4-2-1? What kind of split do you
So
do?
for prep, for my body, for me, it's 6 days on, 1 day off. So
Really?
yeah, 6 days on, 1 day off. That works for me. So you know, during the off season, 3 days on, maybe 1 day off, and then 3 days on. So that type of schedule. I might take a little bit more days off to be with the
Okay.
family, but when I'm in prep, full blown prep, I only take 1 day off out of the week. Every day is straight.
And I'm gonna go on a limb and say it's Sunday's your day off for church.
It alternates depending on my work schedules. Sometimes
Okay.
it'll be Sundays, and some because I hate working on Sundays. But if my schedule falls that I have a Saturday off during that schedule, and that's my day that I have off, then I have to work out on Sunday. So either Sunday or Saturday is usually my day off that I take during prep.
So 6 days in a row, and your body you're depleted. You're. I mean, are you able to recoup? I mean, 'cause I hate the word overtraining because I don't know if overtraining is really a thing or not. But are you able to really get the rest you need?
That's where the mind comes in. You got to really, really want it. I mean, you got to really. If it's overtraining, it might be overtraining for some people, but for me, that works for me. And
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend that schedule for a regular person, but for me, that works for me. Even my wife says you don't get enough rest, but that's how I thrive on that. That's the schedule that I do. That's the schedule that works for me. I even go to work. I do my cardio, and I work at night, so I even do my cardio, train all that time in the gym. Then boom, change, boom, straight to work for 12 hours at night, and then do it all over again.
Wow. Michael, how has your training changed as you've gotten older? Or has it changed?
Let's wait. I listen to my body more. Okay, so if I need to take a day off, I will take a day off. If I'm not feeling well, or muscle sore, my knee, because now my knees kind of ache a little bit. So I use a little bit less weight, but I still train heavy. But I listen to my body more. That's what's changed for me as I got older.
God, do you use any joints? Do you find the need to use any joint supplements or anything? The glucosamines, the chondroitins, any of that yet?
I have, but for the most part, I just use more stretching. Let my wife stretch. That's nice. And my wife is my masseuse as well. She works on my body, giving me the stretching that I need. So I don't have to pay that extra. I don't know, $200 what these people have. I don't know what they. My wife, she stretches me out. So I really don't use joint stuff like that. I really don't.
So I always say, you're getting older when you have to stretch more, or sometimes
Yeah, I'm getting to that
stretching
point.
is
My wife
just
had
as
to
long as
stretch me
working
out a lot
out.
this week. My wife had to stretch me out a lot this week. So I'm getting to that point now where I got to stretch more.
So now looking to 2025, I know you said you compete every year. Are you looking at shows, thinking about shows for 25?
It doesn't change. I mean, I already got the show picked out. Me and my wife, got to coasting into it. But for the most part, it's going to be the Atlanta Pro.
Okay.
They have it, and that'll be a good first show. I can do the Master Division because a lot of people give a lot of people shade on the Masters competitors. I mean, like I think Bo Lewis is a great Master competitor, does very, very well, and he turned pro at the year I did the Team Universe back in 2018.
Okay.
So he turned pro. I saw him in person. I saw him, and he does very well as a Masters competitor. So I don't have if you look at my pictures, I don't have the body of a real 40-year-old. I think I have a young, fresh looking, and I think I could do really, really well on the next level.
And it's funny because I have a very good friend that's a Masters competitor as well. He's 57, going strong. His name is Vinny Galante. He's a very good friend of mine.
Yeah, I know Vinny. Yeah, I know Vinny. I've seen him.
And it's funny because I think the Masters division, like you said, some people throw a little shade on it, but
A
that's
lot
the
of
division
shade.
I think that's getting bigger and bigger.
They throw a lot of shade, but they don't have a pro card. That's the people that I don't understand how you throw shade. It's easy to get a pro card now. Go get one. Yeah, it's that easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Go get one. It's so easy.
Yeah, no, good point. So you're gonna do that. So you're just gonna do one next year? Just do one show next year?
Yeah, that's the plan. Just one show. I have no aspirations of stepping on the Olympia stage my first year. Definitely not. But I'm looking to make possibly go and visit for the first time and get that experience, that feel of it, and go from there.
Yeah, and there's chatter now of doing the Masters Olympia again, hopefully 25 or 26, and maybe wrap it into the Mr. Olympia weekend. Because last year they did it in Romania, which was kind of a little weird because it was so far off. But yeah, hopefully they'll bring it back for great people like you.
Yeah, and I would do both if I was to qualify for it. If I was to qualify, they making it so you have to qualify for the Masters Olympia. So if I was to qualify for the Masters Olympia and the Open Olympia, I would do both. So that's really kind of my plan to kind of do both. You know what I mean? If you listen to other podcasts, they're saying Tyler wants the younger guys, but I don't have the older look body. My skin doesn't sag or anything like that. So hopefully Tyler won't mark me down for being an older bodybuilder.
Michael, what changes do you want to make from the U to stepping on stage next year? Like what's maybe needs to be improved? Where do you need to bring things up?
My back. I need to improve my back. I need to improve, make my legs bigger.
Okay.
Tighten up the glutes and hamstrings. Improve my chest. And then just overall condition. And that just comes from just dieting longer. I already got in my mind 26 weeks. So dieting longer, more cardio, and train hard, and keeping the faith, and see what happens. See what I produce on stage.
I almost feel like it's like Derek Lunsford syndrome, that now that he's an open, there's no restriction. Now you don't have to worry about dieting all the way down to 198. You can play with your weight a little bit more and go up 205, 210, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so hopefully you'll be able to, no restrictions on that for you, that is.
Yeah, well, my plan is to, start in the 212 division and then work my way up to the open. And then, because I don't have a problem putting on weight now that I'm older. So, last year I got to 253 in the off season. So I'm looking to get up to about 265, hopefully maybe 270 this off season. And putting on weight is not a big deal. It's not hard for me anymore like it was when I was younger.
And how tall are you, Michael?
5'9".
5'9". Okay, so yeah, like 230 would probably look phenomenal on you if you're able to get to that area.
Well, and I've competed that heavy before, but I wasn't in the condition that the judges want, so I had to come down. To I probably was on stage when I won my pro card around like 210, 212, somewhere around in there. Yeah, so I was probably around there on stage. So, but I was ready at 222, 225. I mean, like in my opinion. From my wife was looking at me, she's like, "You're ready." So pull the water, probably enough. I've competed at 218 on stage, so it's just just time. It's just time putting in the work.
Is there a physique that you think you look close to, or maybe try to model a little bit?
A lot of people say Dexter Jackson. I have that.
I love Dexter.
Dexter Jackson, but I admire Dexter Jackson because he has the longevity. He competed for so long, so hopefully I'm able to go that long. God willing.
So now you mentioned earlier, obviously your wife helps you with everything. Who helps with posing, or how do you go about posing?
Just over the years, man, I learned. Like my first coach, Curtis Bryant, taught me a lot about posing. He had a posing coach that I worked with. Darren Hollywood Glenn, he worked on my posing.
Okay.
a couple years ago. He was great with my feet placement. I'm not gonna give away too much of my secret, but hey, look, the feet placement, feet placements is important, especially when doing your quarter turns and when you do your front relax. A lot of guys I see, they make their legs smaller by their feet placement. So
Yes.
that was I mean, like once he showed me that, I'm like, man, I was doing it like that the whole time. Like, so feet placement, your hand position, and then my wife helps with my posing too.
It's all an illusion because people can be very big, but like you said, if it's feet placement or not hiding something or accentuating something, it's all a game. It's a mind game.
Absolutely. Game of illusion. There's another trick that I learned from Phil Heath. With I guess it's not really a secret. It's the line thing, kind of like you step up a little bit. And I kind of learned that early on. I'm like, if you just take a little bit of step, when you doing your front relax, just so the judges, just so you make you look a little bit bigger. So if you can
But
get
the judges are catching that now because last Olympia,
away,
everybody was like a front.
a small step. Not they was walking like into the crowd, but if you take like a small step, just a little step, and sometimes they don't even catch it. And I'll be like, yeah, that's this old school trick that I learned over the years.
Michael, regardless of your placing, what's the ideal lineup? Who would you want to stand next to, whether it's either at the 212 or you go to the Olympia? Who would you just love to stand next to, regardless of like where you place?
Stand next to Jordan Hutchinson.
Really? Okay.
I would love to stand next to him, and I plan on making that happen in a few years, for sure.
Anybody else?
No, I got him in mind, for sure.
Okay. Have you met him?
He was my coach for a little while. He was my coach.
Oh, okay.
He helped me get ready for the 2021 Nationals. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
He helped me get ready. I flew him and his wife down out there in Orlando, Florida, and he helped me get ready for that. So I always told him that if I got my pro card, that I would want to stand next to him. So yeah, I want to stand next to him.
I think Mike Van Rott said the same thing. I think he's got an affinity for Jordan as well, and I think that he wants to be on stage with him as well.
He's a new hot up and coming bodybuilder. He's got a lot of clout on him, and well deserved. He's worked really hard. But I always told him that I wanted to stand next to him. So I plan on that's my next goal that I have in the next couple of years.
Michael, you mentioned your lovely wife gives you massages. Anything else you do to keep the body healthy? Ice baths, cryo,
none of that. So it's all old school. So my wife's got this foot thing, like my feet been bothering me. So I got to put what do you call it?
Just a
foot soaker.
Okay.
Stuff like that, maybe some icy hot, all that other stuff. Can't afford none of that. So gotta do old school remedies, man. I'm all old school.
What about supplements? Do you use any supplements, creatine, protein, any of that type of stuff?
Not creatine anymore. Definitely protein. The one that I really like is animal products. The animal
Okay.
product. They're really affordable, and I use a lot. I like their products. As far as the whey protein, I don't do creatine anymore. I do glutamine, stuff like that. I don't really use pre-workouts that much either.
Okay.
I just use the caffeine, like a caffeine pill, some coffee, and I'm good to go. Yeah. So.
Gotcha. And do you when you work out, is it fasted or do you have a couple of meals in you? Like what's going into the workout?
Meal. I definitely like to have a meal in me. Usually, depending on my work schedule or what time of day it is, I usually like to work in midday. So I usually try to get in 2 meals before I work out. Because remember, I'm doing the workout and then I'm doing cardio right after. So there's no go home, rest up, come back. No, it's all one shot. So I'm done the workout. But that's why when I'm in prep, my workouts are super quick. So I usually, my workout sets are 2 sets per body part. I'm done within 45, 50 minutes. And then boom, straight on to the bike and then to the treadmill.
Gotcha. What gym do you work out at? Give them a shout out.
It's a Victory Fitness. It's downtown Wilson. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So Michael, this has been a great conversation. As I mentioned off air, I'm going to throw you 3 random questions. You don't know what they are here. Just whatever comes to mind. Okay. You can only train with one piece of equipment or workout piece for the rest of your life. What would it be?
Incline barbell press.
Okay. What's your dream car?
That's a good one. The Malibu. 2021 Malibu.
Really? That's it. Wow. Interesting. Okay.
car. That's my next car.
And then if someone were to make an audio book on your life, who would you want voice it or narrate it for you?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Really? Okay. Interesting. I ask that once in a while, and people always say Morgan Freeman. I love Morgan Freeman, but it gets old.
I listen to a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger's motivational speeches and stuff like that. How he had to overcome as well.
Love it. Michael, you mentioned earlier you want to do some shout outs as you wind down. Have the floor, please.
Definitely want to do some shout outs, man. My beautiful wife, my spiritual prayer partner, my best friend, my wife, my best friend Stanley, supporter from day one. He told me that I can do this. He was with me from the very, very beginning. Always supportive, and always helped me out whenever I need help. True best friend. My boy Mike Steen, man, great coach, great mentor. More importantly, more than a coach, he's a great mentor. Steel Force Fitness, they have a brotherhood going down there in Georgia, man, and it's more than just coaching. It's life lessons that they're teaching down there, and it's a true brotherhood down there as well. Andrew Berry, a great friend and great coach as well. I wanted to give him a shout out. And my boy Chris Fine, he's another great coach, and I had the pleasure of standing on stage with him and Andrew Berry. They're great people.
Awesome. And what's your Instagram if people want to start following you, Michael?
Woodhouse Michael, but I'm not really on there. But me and my wife, we're gonna start something up. But if anyone wants to contact me, it's definitely my email, michaelvivian7603@gmail.com.
You're a pro now, my friend. You got to start getting out there, doing some more Instagram posting. I know you're a busy man, but
me and my wife was just talking about that, and hopefully, I want to get a supplement company, that sponsors me. That'd be great. My wife's going to be in charge. We're going to open up a whole new business page that my wife will be in charge of, and we do it together. I want to do it with my wife.
Love it. So for any of the supplement companies out there, give Michael's a young and upcoming star here, new to the IFBB scene. Give him a look, give him a call here, because he's going to do some great things the next couple of years.
Thank you for the opportunity, man. Thank you for this interview, man. And a lot of people don't know who I am. Hopefully, people will know who I am after this interview. And I plan on doing great things and being an inspiration and a role model to young people out there.
Michael, I can just tell you, for the short time we've spoken, you're an inspiration. You're a super humble guy, obviously very spiritual. And, again, on behalf of me and my listeners, we'll be watching. We wish you the best.
Yeah, and I hope we could do this again, man. Maybe, I'll do some, win some shows, and we can get up together and talk about this first podcast that I had a privilege of doing with you.
I would love it. And for all you folks listening, please give me a follow at Supp Talk _radio and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And again, Michael, thank you so much.